Ever imagine a world without Instagram?
Or travel blogs,
Yeah.
where the only way to share your adventure was through words.
That's what we're looking at today.
Yeah,
Travel writing in China's late Ming Dynasty.
a period that might surprise you.
Yeah, with this vibrant tourist scene.
Mm,
We're talking sought-after landscapes, bustling destinations, and even guidebooks.
centuries before Lonely Planet.
Exactly.
Fascinating to consider what motivated people to travel back then.
I know it's around the same time the Mayflower landed in America.
Right.
While European explorers were setting sail for new worlds, the Chinese were embarking on journeys of discovery in their own land.
And they were documenting those experiences,
In vivid detail.
creating a rich tapestry of travel writing that offers a unique window into their world.
So what sparked this golden age of travel writing in the late Ming Dynasty?
Ah.
What drove people to pack their bags, grab their brushes, and set off on adventures?
Well, picture this. China's economy is booming, trade routes are flourishing, and a new class is emerging, the gentry. These folks had the means, the time, and the education to embrace travel and the art of writing about it.
Okay, I'm starting to get the picture.
Yeah.
A rising middle class with a thirst for adventure
Hmm.
and the ability to put their experiences into words.
Right?
But travel back then couldn't have been easy, right?
Yeah.
No bullet trains or airplanes to whisk them off to exotic locales.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But the Ming Dynasty was a time of significant infrastructure development.
Okay.
Roads were improved, canals expanded, and river travel became more efficient.
So it's not like they had their own version of the interstate system, but they were definitely making strides in transportation.
Exactly. And as travel became more accessible, a whole industry sprang up around it.
Oh, wow.
We're talking tourist destinations with organized tours, entertainment, and even, shall we say, places of ill repute popping up on sacred mountains.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Places of ill repute on sacred mountains. Now, that's a travel trend I wasn't expecting. It seems like the Ming Dynasty had its own version of what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
It appears so.
Wow. It just goes to show that human nature in all its complexities transcends time and place. But let's get back to the writing itself.
Okay.
Early travel writing in the late Ming was all about painting vivid word pictures, creating a sense of movement through the landscape. Imagine yourself not just standing and admiring a view, but rather experiencing a journey through words.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
It's like a virtual reality tour, but with elegant prose instead of clunky goggles.
Right.
But as we move into the later part of the Ming Dynasty, the styles of travel writing started to diversify, right?
Precisely one fascinating trend was the rise of vignettes.
Okay.
Short, evocative stories that captured the essence of a travel experience.
Ooh, stories. I'm all ears.
Often with a touch of humor.
Okay.
Well, there's this delightful story about a traveler named Jiang Dai who was staying at Westlake, a famous scenic spot.
Okay.
Now imagine this. A blizzard is raging outside,
Okay.
and most people are huddled indoors seeking refuge from the cold.
Sounds cozy. I'd probably be curled up with a good book and a warm drink.
What did this Jiang Dai do?
He decides to do something a little unexpected.
Okay.
He ventures out onto the lake in a small boat, right into the heart of the blizzard.
Now that's what I call embracing the elements.
Yeah.
You can practically feel the icy wind and see the snow swirling around him.
When he reaches a pavilion on the lake, he finds two other travelers completely unfazed by the blizzard,
Oh, wow.
enjoying wine as if it were a sunny spring day.
Oh,
They even invite him to join them for a drink.
wow. They were like the Ming Dynasty's version of an extreme social club, braving the elements and enjoying each other's company.
Right.
It seems travel for some wasn't just about the destination. It was about embracing the unexpected and finding moments of connection even in the midst of a blizzard.
Exactly. These vignettes offer us glimpses into the personalities and values of these travelers, revealing a sense of adventure, a love of nature, and perhaps a touch of rebelliousness. But not all travel writing was lighthearted. Some writers took a more serious, investigative approach, driven by a desire for accuracy and a more scientific understanding of the world.
So like the Ming Dynasty's version of fact-checkers debunking myths and setting the record straight.
You could say that.
Oh.
They were meticulous in their observations, challenging previous accounts, and seeking to provide precise geographical information.
Wow.
One example is Wang Qi, who traveled to a famous mountain shrouded in legends about Buddha sightings and magical clouds.
Okay.
He meticulously debunked these tall tales, separating fact from fiction.
It's fascinating how these writers brought a critical eye to their travels, challenging assumptions and encouraging readers to question what they read. In a way, they were pioneers of critical thinking centuries before the term even existed.
You're right, they understood that accurate information was crucial for travelers and scholars alike.
We've got travel for pleasure, travel for knowledge, and even travel for a good laugh. It seems like the late Ming Dynasty was a golden age for travel writing in all its forms. But you mentioned a traveler who made some groundbreaking scientific discoveries along the way.
I did.
Tell me more about this Zhu Viake.
Zhu was a true adventurer who dedicated his life to exploring China, particularly remote and challenging regions.
Wait, no GPS, no detailed maps, no Google Translate. That's incredible. How did he even navigate?
That's a question that continues to intrigue scholars to this day.
Yeah.
He seems to have possessed an uncanny sense of direction and a remarkable ability to estimate distances.
Wow.
But beyond that, his work was notable for its incredible accuracy.
Okay.
He meticulously recorded his observations about geography and geology, particularly his explorations of caves.
So he was basically a human GPS, mapping out the terrain with his keen eye and sharp mind. Did he travel alone?
He did travel with a small entourage sometimes, including local guides.
Okay.
But the intellectual heavy lifting, the observations, the analysis, the writing, all came from him.
It's mind-boggling to think of the level of detail he was able to capture without any modern equipment. What kind of information did he record about these caves?
In one passage, he describes entering a cave hidden in pitch-black darkness,
Okay.
where aligned stalagmites hang down like suspended columns, crispy and cool, dripping and leaking.
Wow, I can practically hear the water dripping in that description.
Yeah.
It's so vivid, so immersive.
He then describes another section of the cave as spacious and sonorous, grand and imposing,
Okay.
with intertwined canopies in the shape of coiling dragons, stunning, scintillating, and pentacled.
It's like stepping into a world of myth and legend. But he wasn't just using poetic language, was he? He was also making scientific observations.
Exactly. He carefully documented the direction he was traveling, the size and shape of the formations, even the presence of pools of water.
Wow.
And what's remarkable is that modern scientists have been able to confirm the accuracy of his descriptions,
Oh.
using his writings to study these caves and understand how they formed.
So in a way, he was a pioneer in the fields of topography, geography, and geology, centuries ahead of his time. It makes you wonder, what would he think of our modern world with all our technology and scientific advancements?
That's an intriguing question. I imagine he'd be fascinated by our ability to map the world with satellites, explore the depths of the ocean, and even venture into space.
Yeah.
But I also think he'd remind us of the importance of slowing down, observing carefully, and using our senses to connect with the world around us. After all, those are the skills that allowed him to make such groundbreaking discoveries, even without the tools we take for granted today.
It's a valuable lesson for us all, no matter how advanced our technology becomes. Sometimes the most powerful tool we have is our own curiosity and our willingness to explore the world with open eyes and an open mind. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's delve deeper into Zhu Xiaoke's work and discover what exactly made him such a remarkable figure in the world of travel writing and scientific exploration.
I'm ready when you are. Welcome back to our exploration of late Ming Dynasty travel writing. Before we delve further into Zhu Xiaoke's remarkable work, I think it's important to understand the significance of his discoveries, particularly his explorations of those fascinating karst formations you mentioned.
You're right, those landscapes are incredible. I remember seeing pictures of Guilin and Yangshuo in Guangxi province, those towering limestone peaks, the winding rivers, the hidden caves. It's like something out of a dream.
Precisely, and Zhu Xiaoke was one of the first to document these formations in such meticulous detail. He was particularly drawn to southwest China provinces like Guangxi and Yunnan, which are renowned for their karst landscapes.
And what's so special about karst, aside from its obvious beauty? What makes it scientifically significant?
Well, karst is formed by the dissolution of soluble rocks like limestone, dolomite, and gypsum. Over millions of years, rainwater, which is slightly acidic, seeps into these rocks, slowly dissolving them and creating a unique underground world of caves, sinkholes, and underground rivers.
Okay, so it's not just about pretty scenery. There's a whole hidden world beneath the surface shaped by these geological processes.
Exactly, and Zhu Xiaoke was fascinated by this hidden world. He was particularly obsessed with finding the true source of the Yangtze River, which previous accounts had placed incorrectly.
So he was setting out to correct the geographical record, using his own first-hand observations to challenge the accepted wisdom of the time. That's quite a bold undertaking.
It was, and he actually succeeded in finding the true source of the Yangtze, proving those earlier accounts wrong. But he didn't stop there. He went on to explore hundreds of caves in the region, meticulously documenting their formations, dimensions, and even their orientation.
It's mind-boggling to think he could be so accurate without modern tools. I can barely find my way out of a shopping mall without GPS. What specific details did he record about these caves?
He noted things like the direction of the passages, the size and shape of the stalactites and stalagmites, the presence of underground streams and pools, and even the types of rock formations. What's fascinating is that his descriptions are so detailed that modern scientists have been able to use his writings to study these caves and confirm his findings.
So he wasn't just a traveler. He was a scientist in the making, observing and documenting the natural world with incredible precision. But his writing wasn't just dry scientific data, was it? You mentioned earlier that he was a skilled writer who could capture the beauty of the landscapes he explored.
Absolutely. His writing is filled with lyrical descriptions that bring those caves to life. For example, he describes one cave as a crystal palace with stalactites hanging like glittering chandeliers and stalagmites rising from the floor like frozen fountains.
Wow, that's beautiful. It sounds like he had a real gift for finding poetic language to describe these awe-inspiring natural wonders.
He did, and his descriptions are not just beautiful, they're also incredibly accurate. Modern geologists have marveled at his ability to capture the intricate details of these formations using language that is both precise and evocative.
So he was able to bridge the gap between science and art, using his writing to both illuminate and inspire. It makes his work all the more remarkable considering the time period in which he was writing.
Exactly. His work reminds us that science and art are not mutually exclusive. They can complement and enrich each other.
His work has contributed significantly to our understanding of karst formations, hasn't it? What kind of impact has his research had on modern science?
His observations and meticulous record-keeping laid the groundwork for later scientific explorations of karst landscapes. His work has been used to study the formation and evolution of caves, the hydrology of underground rivers, and even the impact of human activity on these delicate ecosystems.
So his legacy extends far beyond his own lifetime, continuing to influence scientific research even today. It's inspiring to think that one person driven by curiosity and a passion for exploration could make such a lasting contribution to our understanding of the world.
It is, and his story highlights the importance of careful observation, meticulous documentation, and a willingness to challenge the status quo.
It seems like Juniaki embodied the spirit of both the scientist and the artist, combining a thirst for knowledge with a deep appreciation for the beauty of the natural world.
Precisely. His work is a testament to the power of human curiosity and the enduring allure of exploration. But Shishiaki wasn't the only traveler writing during this period. The late Ming Dynasty saw a flourishing of diverse voices and styles, each offering a unique perspective on the world.
You mentioned earlier that travel writing evolved in the Qing Dynasty, which followed the Ming. How did the styles and themes change during that period?
In the Qing Dynasty, we see a shift toward a more personal and introspective style of travel writing. While late Ming writers were often focused on documenting the external world, Qing Dynasty writers were more interested in exploring their own internal landscapes, using travel as a way to reflect on their lives, their relationships, and their place in the world.
So it became less about describing the scenery and more about reflecting on the personal experience of travel, the inner journey that accompanied the outer one.
Exactly. And this shift reflects the changing cultural landscape of China at the time. The Qing Dynasty was a period of significant social and political upheaval, and writers were grappling with these changes in their work. They used travel as a way to process their experiences, make sense of the world around them, and explore their own identities.
It's fascinating how travel writing can reflect the broader social and cultural context of a particular time period. It's like a window into the hearts and minds of people living in a different era. Can you give me an example of this more introspective style of Qing Dynasty travel writing?
Certainly, one notable Qing Dynasty travel writer was Yu Tong. Unlike Shishiake, whose travels often took him to remote and challenging regions, Yu Tong's writings focused on more familiar landscapes like the gardens and temples of his hometown, but his work delves deeply into his personal experiences and emotions, reflecting on themes of lost memory and the passage of time.
So even though his travels may have been less geographically adventurous, his writing explored a different kind of terrain, the terrain of the human heart.
Precisely. His work reminds us that travel at its core is about more than just reaching a destination. It's about the journey itself, the reflections we have along the way, and the ways in which our experiences shape our understanding of ourselves and the world around us.
That's a powerful insight. It makes me think about how our modern obsession with documenting every moment of our travels with selfies and social media updates might be preventing us from fully experiencing the transformative power of travel.
That's an interesting point. It seems we've become so focused on capturing the perfect image that we sometimes forget to simply be present in the moment, to soak in the atmosphere, and to allow our experiences to watch over us.
Perhaps there's a lesson to be learned from these late Ming and Qing dynasty travelers who, without the distractions of modern technology, were able to connect with the world in a deeper, more meaningful way.
I think you're right. They remind us that travel can be a powerful tool for self-discovery, a way to challenge our assumptions, expand our horizons, and connect with something larger than ourselves. And perhaps that's the most enduring legacy of these travel writers.
It's amazing how these writings offer us not just a glimpse into the past, but also a reflection of ourselves.
Yeah,
Their
yeah.
curiosity,
Mhm.
their thirst for knowledge,
Mhm.
their appreciation for beauty.
Right.
These are qualities that resonate across time and cultures.
Absolutely.
As we explored the work of Zhu Xieke, I couldn't help but think about how his meticulous observations, his passion for accuracy, and his lyrical descriptions of the natural world speak to a deep connection with the world around him. It makes you wonder, what can we learn from these travelers centuries later?
I think their writings remind us that travel is more than just reaching a destination.
Right.
It's about the journey itself,
Yeah.
the observations we make, the connections we forge, and the ways in which our experiences shape our understanding of the world and ourselves.
And perhaps in our modern world, with its emphasis on speed and efficiency, we've lost sight of that. We're so busy snapping photos and updating our social media feeds that we forget to slow down, to truly observe our surroundings, and to allow ourselves to be transformed by the experience of travel.
Yeah, it's like we're trying to capture the moment instead of living it.
Yeah.
These late Ming Dynasty travelers, without the distractions of modern technology, were able to engage with the world in a more immersive, more contemplative way.
Their writings encourage us to put down our phones to pick up a pen and notebook,
Yeah.
and to rediscover the art of slow travel, of savoring the journey, and allowing ourselves to be changed by it.
And who knows, perhaps by embracing the spirit of mindful exploration, we might even make our own small contributions to the world.
Right.
Just like Shusiake did with his groundbreaking observations of karst formations.
His legacy reminds us that anyone, regardless of their background or resources, can make a difference if they approach the world with curiosity,
Yeah.
a thirst for knowledge,
Hmm.
and a willingness to share their discoveries.
And perhaps centuries from now, someone will be listening to a deep dive about your adventures, marveling at your insights and the journey you took.
What a thought. It's inspiring to think that our own experiences, no matter how seemingly insignificant, could have a ripple effect across time, influencing and inspiring future generations.
We're all part of a larger narrative, a tapestry of human experience that stretches across time and cultures. And travel writing, in its many forms, offers us a way to connect with that narrative, to learn from the past, and to contribute our own unique perspectives to the ongoing conversation.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of late Ming Dynasty travel writing, I encourage you, our listeners, to embrace the spirit of exploration, whether you're planning a trip across the globe or simply venturing out into your own neighborhood. Observe your surroundings with a curiosity, engage with the world around you, and remember that every journey, no matter how big or small, has the potential to transform you in unexpected ways.
And who knows, perhaps you'll be inspired to put pen to paper and share your own discoveries with the world.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring.